Great to see you here again. My name is Luc de Custer, founder of the Custer Academy. And in this video, I'm talking about project planning, but we're going to look at the special way of doing the planning, and we call it backward planning. So we start from the back instead of from day one, the first moment of the project. So it's a different approach to project planning. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. So let's have a look at the planning. Classically, when we have a project, we do a plan, we use the critical path method. And the critical path method is the classic approach to project planning. We first create the precedence diagram and we include there the duration estimates. We can also include there the 50% estimate and the standard deviation when we are using the PERT or the 3-point estimates. Based on the network diagram and those estimates, we can calculate during the forward pass the early start and the early finish of all the activities. Basically, what's the first time that an activity can start and what's the first time an activity can finish. And doing that, at the end, we find the end time or the duration of the entire project. The next thing, once we find the early finish of the last activity of the project, we calculate back from the late finish, and we do that with what we call the backward pass. And here we find the late start and the late finish of the different activities. Now, with these estimates, we can create a project schedule. But we did not answer the question, when do we have to start the project? When we have an end date. And that's something that we have to verify. What is the actual end date of the project? And that's where we do the backward planning. Backward planning starts from the last activity, so where the project ends, and we have to find out when does the project has to be completed. Now, the thing is, we are doing a backward pass, and we know from the sponsor what the end date or the desired end date of the project is. And according to Goldratt, that should be one of the starting points when we're doing the calculations. So calculating from the end time of the project, because the sponsor has this typically in mind, and we can then calculate when do we have to start with the project. Now, what we do with the backward calculation is that we find the latest time an activity should be completed. So when we can calculate the latest start and the latest finish time of all the activities. If an activity starts or finishes later than this time, this means that the project will not be finished on the requested time, the time requested by the sponsor. The last thing is that we have to find now, based on this calculation, when we do the backward calculation, we know what date the project should start. And that gives us the idea. This gives us a better way to plan the project because we are really starting from the information that is very important. And typically the sponsor has an idea when they want to have a product finished. When do they want to have a new car? When do they want to have a new marketing plan or things like that? All these elements are in fact based on what we call backward planning. So that was it for this video about backward planning. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on our next videos. Bye bye.